Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Cicero Planning Board meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Chuck, could you lead us out, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business is the approval of our July 15th minutes. Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
And I vote yes, minutes have been approved. Now we will open the meeting to public comment. If there's anybody here in the audience that would like to address the board on any active application, you can do so now. Given nobody's approach, we'll close the public input. And we will move on to the first agenda item. This is a public hearing. This is for a two-lot subdivision. This is part of the next item, which is the proposed 74-unit apartment complex. Is the applicant here for the subdivision? Good evening. I know we just received the map.
Yes, you did a couple days ago. Mark Pillot with Dakota Partners. Yes,
Thank you.
there it is.
And so this is just a formality of taking this one lot and
That's it.
separating it from the one piece.
Yeah, taking that lot 6 out of the overall parcel because it's previously that was a taxable parcel. For some reason, they put it back together and we're just taking it back apart now.
Okay.
So I think all that's left now is for Mark to review it. I'm not sure if he's had a chance to, but
Excuse me. I started today that I'm gonna have some comments to get that.
not a problem, not a problem.
So we'll conduct the public hearing. We'll leave it open, I assume after
Yeah.
this evening, and then we'll bring it up next time.
We'll revisit next time.
Okay. Any questions from the board at this point? All right, let's see if there's anybody here from the public that would like to address. Yes, Mark. Is there anybody that would like to address this particular item for the public hearing?
I'm not sure if this is the right time, but the public hearing for this comment, but when they were before us the last time, there was some controversy over the parking issues and the space of how many apartments. And I just wanted the board to be aware that we've paid so much money for our recent comprehensive plan that I hate to see so many concessions being made at this time, right off the gate with our building just starting where it might be in the near future. So I was just hoping you could take that all into consideration, that I don't think we should be making those major concessions yet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And would anybody else like to address the board? All right, so at this point, we'll keep the public hearing open until the next meeting or next time they come in. And we'll move on to the site plan review continuation. So come on back up.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Jeff Davis with Barclay Damon here in Syracuse. You met Mark just a few minutes ago. He'll be up here from Dakota Partners, Andrew Burns and Mira Medjabovsky. I think I got that correct, with Cicero and Associates. So they'll each come up and kind of talk about civil and the architectural comments. I just wanted to start the meeting and just, we've gone through the most recent round of comments. I think we've addressed most, if not all of them. Mark did spend the last hour or so meeting with the fire department on some specific comments and some requests there. Again, we can meet and those requests. I did want to remind the board, though, that and the public, obviously, that this is an affordable housing project, and with that comes some things. And so, yes, we are requesting some modifications from the design standards, but these are rents that are set by New York State. There's a competitive process that you go through with New York State in order to have projects qualify and receive tax credits that can be applied for these projects. And they look at things that, for instance, one of the comments on, washer and dryers in units. You know, that's something that actually New York State does not think belongs in an affordable housing complex, because that means the people need to buy their own washers and dryers in order to make them work. Instead, they want them on a floor, for instance, in the facility, but not in each individual unit. It goes through the credit process that they go through and that they look at. And then for the developer, the rents are fixed. This is not a market rate housing project, and it will not be. And so there are certain things where we believe we've met the standard, the spirit of the code. There are certain things where we're asking for a little bit of work. And obviously there are some items where we've gone as far as we can go, because at some point in an affordable housing project with fixed rents, the project just doesn't happen. So, and that's, you know, we hear that in the community. We hear at public hearings that are held by the county legislature in this county of the need for affordable housing projects. This is one that has come here and I think can be a great one here in this community. So thank you for your time. And I'll ask Mark to kind of come up and kind of go through the civil comments, and we'll kick it off from there. All right. Thank you.
I'm going to pretend I'm going through the civil comments. Really, Andy's going to go through the civil comments instead.
Very good. Andrew Burns with Pastor Associates. Civil engineer for the project. Just want to provide an update on some of the modifications and back and forth we've had as far as it results to engineering comments made and received to date. We have responded to the first round of comments that we received back in June. We felt that they were minor in nature, take no concerns with any of the requests or changes that were made in that letter. Those have since been revised and resubmitted. While we haven't received a formal second response or second comment letter regarding engineering, we did speak on the phone about some outstanding comments, which were, again, in our opinion, minor revisions to some notes and call outs on the utility plans, and then adding some additional sanitary pump information to our engineer's report, just to make sure that we have the capacity there. Some revisions to our plan since our original application is we have reduced from 74 to 71 units for funding purposes. That being said, we have increased the parking to 117 spaces, which results in a ratio around 1.65, so above that 1.5 that we originally proposed. We also relocated the dumpster from the western entrance to the rear of the site to provide additional screening. I mean, we know there's been a comment or a request made by the reviewer for an additional crosswalk on that western entrance across Metzer Court, and I believe the applicant is open to providing that, assuming we can make, ADA grades work, and we think that we can do that. So that's a change that's ongoing, and we're incorporating into the plans right now.
Thank you. The next thing we wanted to kind of touch upon was the architectural comments. But before I jump into that, I did have a meeting this afternoon with the fire chief. He sent out an email to everyone. I'm not sure if you guys saw the email with a list of questions and comments. So I met with him, kind of went through every single one with him. And I know Steve spoke with him. I believe he's satisfied with our reply back to him. Some of the comments were, there was EV chargers for cars that are facing the building, right in front of the building itself. He wanted me to put them on the backside, which we'll do that. We'll put them on the backside. At the main entrance from the parking lot, there is a series of cabinets that he thought those were the EV cabinets where you put the batteries inside where they charge. That is not the location of it. That right there is for packages, just regular packages like Amazon type deliveries. That's at the front entrance. The actual chargers are at the end of the building, on the west end of the building, outside, away from the building, by the sidewalk. So we went through that. He's comfortable with that right there. I did ask him if he had the cut sheet I provided. He didn't, so I can ask Steve. He can send that to the chief. He would like it. That was one of the questions. He asked about the fire hydrant. There's only one existing fire hydrant out there, and per code, you need to have 400 feet of hose length around the building, and it meets code around the building. He requested that if it's possible to add a second hydrant on the street side, so it's a public fire hydrant at the other entrance on the east side, and we'll do that as well. We'll add a hydrant to that location. So he'll have one at either end, which will work better for him at the end of the day. The last one, I believe is the last one, if I'm not mistaken, but is, he had concerns about the attic space of the building itself. And I was informed by my architect that, within that attic space, we're gonna have sprinklers in this space, so it's fully protected within that area, because he had concerns, if a fire gets up there, it could race through, due to all the open space and the oxygen, and that no one would know about it. So, it will have, sprinklers up there. And I think that was it. Was there any other ones to? Okay, so,
So with the sprinklers, he was satisfied with not having smoke, a fire detection system up there?
yeah, because the sprinklers themselves will be the detection system, then they'll set up the alarm within the building itself.
And the fire stop walls, he's comfortable
He's
without having
comfortable
those?
with that because it has a fully sprinkled space up there.
The whole building will be sprinklered by commercial system.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
He also mentioned to me that the water main's gotta be 8 inches.
well, yeah, the water main to the building itself is a 6-inch, coming into the building, servicing the building. He was concerned about the water for fire protection wise. If there was a hydrant
At the
within the
hydrant.
property itself, should have been an 8-inch. But we don't have one in the property because we met the requirement by code having the 400 feet. And that's why we added a second, we
So
recommended.
it's a 6 inch, you've added a second hydrant, he's comfortable with that.
He's
Fire
gone,
chief.
because whatever's in the street's in the street. I mean, I don't recall what if it's a 6 or 8-inch in the street. But having the second hydrant there, he's much more comfortable with it.
So Mark, I think what you're proposing is a public hydrant connected to the existing water main
Yes.
additionally, so that would be.
A public
Loop system,
hydrant,
right.
yes, right off there, and which he would prefer to be a public hydrant because he knows it's gonna be maintained, so. Which is good. Anything else?
So are you done with your half? Cause I thought there were a lot more questions.
No, I'm done with the fire.
Fire
chief. I
chief.
wanted to get into
that-
the
that's everything I have.
architectural comments.
Yeah.
'Cause we just received these not that long ago, but I wanted to go through those with you as well. So, Mayor, you wanna?
You can do
Okay.
the first one.
Okay, the first one here is in reference, do you guys have a copy of the architectural comments?
I do.
And do you have renderings that were sent with this submission? Like 3D views?
Who's-
Yeah.
Whose
Mark should have
renditions?
those.
Would like-
Your renditions?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I would like.
Yep, yep.
To see that.
Hmm.
Oh,
You need-
really?
Our architectural engineers here as well.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
So is that the one dated the 28th?
Yeah, this is dated 28th.
I don't know if
No,
I have that.
she doesn't distribute them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I print them.
We'll
share.
I got some.
Thank you. I'm all set. Okay. We all set, everyone, or? Jim, you need a copy?
Yes, do you have one?
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. All set?
Ready.
Perfect. So the first comment is in reference to the facade, which again, it comes with a drawing, which was part of the zoning codes itself, which talks about every 60 feet, you want to transition. 2 feet in or 2 feet out, it really doesn't matter. It's just a transition to make it undulate. And once it goes 2 feet, once you go 60 feet, you do that transition, it doesn't tell you it has to be 2 feet, 3 feet, 100 feet. It can't be 100, it has to be 60 at the most. But what we've designed is you can
So every 60 feet, you gotta go 2 feet.
yeah, you gotta do 2 feet one way or the other. So what our design is, you can see in the elevation there, what we have is these piers that come out 2 feet. They wrap up and around the gable ends of it and it comes down the other side. So it frames this whole thing and it's a different color. So how we treated that architecturally was to create this kind of picture frame of that area, and we bumped it out with the piers 2 feet. And that's how we dealt with it in that respect.
So what we were looking at is the spirit of this code requirement. The idea of requesting 2 feet stepping in or out was to create some changes in elevation so that building didn't look so boring, so that there was a little interest in it. And you would see that by the shadows of the parts of the buildings that were stepping in or stepping out. So we are solving that problem or meeting that requirement by different tool. Instead of, if you look at this building, it doesn't look like a continuous building. If you look at this rendering, the piers create a shadow, which actually not every 60 feet, it's more like 40 to 50 feet. And those piers and different colors create interest on the facade of the building, so it doesn't look so monotonous and so long. So we think that by doing that, we are actually meeting the requirement, the spirit of the requirement of the code.
Anthony, your thoughts on that?
So the code reads that the wall plane should have a minimum depth change of 2 feet.
Yep.
And you're already going through the expense of doing a 1 foot offset, creating those outside corners to create these conditions. So to meet the actual code requirement by extending an additional foot, you've gone through the construction expense of pulling it out already. So really it's just gonna be the area factor and building the additional square footage. If it means receding the adjacent walls to achieve that change in wall plane, then that would be up to you.
Yeah.
But I think the code reads is the change of wall plane, not necessarily the pier or that kind of surrounding element,
Which is what the illustration in the code shows as
which is
well.
what the illustration shows, right?
I'm an architect as well, and I kind of disagree with that in respect. We are achieving that, meaning the 2 feet comes out. After it moves 2 feet out or 2 feet in, it doesn't state it has to go a certain distance before it then, it just says it has to go 2 feet out.
This is wall plane.
It's a wall, it's a plane. It comes out, it returns, it comes back. There's a plane there. Now, again, we've treated it as that, coming back and bringing it back again and in. So that's one issue. The issue of saying you can move the building, move that area out another foot, I can't do that. Because what it does to me, it takes my construction type from a 5B to a 5A, which will add millions of dollars from the standpoint of, right now, just from a square footage cost, it's costing me about $230 a square foot to build. And then I gotta increase all the fire protection, all the ratings of everything of that, on that facade in those areas, because I'll be over the square footage that is required when you do get 5A. So right now I'm at 5B is where I can make it work financially and make it work architecturally.
That's why the second option would be to take the other wall plane that's already in and bring it in an additional foot and reduce the square footage.
So this is, as it was stated, this is affordable housing and we're meeting state's requirement. They have design guidelines with
Sure.
very specific dimensions
Sure.
for the bedrooms, for the living rooms, for everything else. Our units are very small. If we start stepping in, we will not be able to meet those requirements. So they're kind of
Here's the
here
problem.
between the rock and the hard place.
The state might have their concerns, their standards. We have standards.
Yep.
Our standards don't get thrown out just because the state doesn't want to do it or you can't afford it.
Understood.
And when I look at the design, clearly shows what we're talking about, moving the wall back, what he's describing. So whatever you need to do to make that happen, I don't want to see this based on our design standards that were established by the town board in other properties, because the state says they can't afford to do it or they don't want it. It's our standard, it's the town standards that you need to meet somehow.
Yeah, understood. And again, I think we are meeting that. When I read this, my 2 feet, I step out 2 feet. Okay, and that comes out 2 feet and then it comes across and it returns. I mean, if it returned, if I stepped it out and returned it 5 feet down, it still meets the requirement. It went out 2 feet, came back and returned. It doesn't have to go 60 feet. There's nothing to say that when you make that transition, either in or out, because it's one or the other, it doesn't really matter.
Correct.
So
Agreed.
it doesn't state that, okay, fine, once you do that, you have to go a certain distance to bring it back. You just can't go over 60 feet. You get,
Agreed.
so, and that's what we did. And we just tried to create this architecturally, by that. So what it does, it just,
Don't do it.
it does come out 2 feet.
That little wall that you're building there doesn't do it from my perspective and my engineer's perspective. I think we're gonna have a lot of these situations.
Understood, yep.
So, um,
We'll continue.
Neil, as we go through this, when it's time to make a recommendation to the town board, whether it's for approve or deny.
Yep.
I think we should include these discrepancies. The town board's the one that created the regulations, right? And we implement them.
Understood.
And I don't want to deviate from them a lot
Understood.
because we're going to have other applicants come in and say, well, you let them do it. Kind of like you did with the buildings across the street a few times.
Oh, I didn't
And
do
some
those.
examples. What's that?
I didn't do those buildings.
No, about how, well, they don't have that, so why do we?
Oh, no,
He's making
You
an
folks,
example.
you folks did that, whether it was you or somebody else,
I wasn't, no.
like the windows on the first floor. But, and those were built before our standards.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Understood.
I think whether we make a recommendation to approve or deny, it should include items where there's a discrepancy like this. So if I was to from my perspective, if I was to move forward with a recommendation for an approval, it would be, however, we don't consider this meeting the standards, and you should take that into consideration. Yeah, a condition.
Okay.
Or if it's denied, here's why it's denied.
Because of that.
Yeah,
Right now, you're asking me, you're giving your interpretation or your opinion on that to the applicant. And it's up to the applicant who's, it's their application to either take what you're saying to them in consideration or they don't. But then ultimately, you're gonna vote on it.
so this board is making a recommendation, but I'm only one person on this board too,
Understood.
so I want to hear from the rest of you. Do you understand what we're saying here? So they're building that one board coming out, saying that's a change in plane.
But it's
Pass that down. That's the
Yeah, we got
design.
that.
You got those.
Yeah.
Those are the design standards that many of us
I
participating in
had to look at
creating.
it closely and now I was getting what you were saying. Isn't there supposed to be a vertical break too? With 3 stories
vertical point.
in the design standards, something cross, like
A base,
a
a
base,
midsection,
a
and upper section.
midsection
Yes.
between,
They
level.
include their stone base that varies in height. Some are like in that rendering, you see towards the left, the full first story is stone, and then off to the right of the entrance, it's below the window. So they do have that base element that
Correct.
wraps the entire building. Then you have the main body of the section and then the crown at the cap there along the roof edge and the eave. So you do have the 3 components there along the whole building.
Yep.
Is there a difference of opinion on this particular item, or is there concurrence?
No,
I agree.
No. We have to stick with.
So what we're saying is we want to see what our architect is talking about relative to main difference. However, you need to make that happen. I don't know why you just can't take one section, and just move the whole thing. You're not adding or subtracting square footage, but I'll leave that to you,
Let's, should we continue on to the next one or?
please.
Okay. That's the next one. The next one is in reference to being, compatible with the neighborhood, basically being, what's around us. So in looking what's around us, the other 2 complexes, I believe we are in the sense we have the stone base, we have the vinyl siding, we're sloped roofs, asphalt slope roofs, so it's compatible, for that, So I mean, architecturally, it is that. I mean, We have our entrance is a little different than their entrances, but it's still, it's architecture. Everything's different. It's not 100% cookie cutter. It's the same.
Well, the only difference with the other buildings is that the other buildings have balconies, and those balconies create the whole appearance of the buildings. Here, we don't have balconies. They're not in the program.
Yeah,
So we had to deal with it somehow, but otherwise, it's practically residential type of construction.
Yeah.
When you look at the two of them, there's a significant difference. And I know the balconies play a big part of that, and I'm not saying you have to put balconies up.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's some peaks in it. There's
Yeah, but
roof cover on the first floor with porches that are nice.
we don't have to copy them, right? We can do something different, but being in the same character.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what we are
Yeah.
doing.
I think it needs a little more doing. My perspective.
Well, this building
You
looks,
guys see the adjacent buildings?
Yeah.
on that second sheet compared to what they're proposing.
We got to keep in mind, those other ones one's a senior, one's a vets type building.
Yeah.
I mean, these are affordable ones here that are families. Obviously, we look at the safety of the individuals that are there. Having balconies, it's a liability issue.
Yeah,
And-
and I said balconies aren't a requirement. I'm saying dress it up a little bit.
I'm sure, you just said,
Dress it up a little.
um,
Let's-
okay.
We'll revisit it.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Please speak up, guys, if
Or-
you have any.
I want to tell you that this building has a little bit more contemporary look or more modern look than the other buildings. Other buildings are very traditional, and it's, where do you want to go? Do you want to keep development of this area all the same in the old traditional style, or you want to develop and move on in the future? Time goes on. You cannot do the same thing over and over again. We are giving a step in a little bit different direction that can be used in the future for future development to step on and do something more interesting.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we just redid our strategic plan for the town. I think you should read it. We did a lot of community outreach and had public meetings, and the message was we liked our small town feel. So not so contemporary.
And I think just one additional comment, I guess. Obviously, design is subjective, and I try not to give any comment on the style of the building. I think the overarching between this comment and the previous comment is that there's a flatness to the design currently with this proposed concept, to where you have a really long building that really doesn't have that much depth variation to it that allows for that massing to be broken up as the other two buildings across the street do. And obviously, the way that they solved it was with balconies and, things like that. There's other ways to solve that, but that's, I think, from my perspective, the overarching kind of comment is, how could we create a little more depth relief that allows to break down this massing that, so that it doesn't have the perception of one large kind of building.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
flatness comment is a good description.
Yeah.
Of that.
Well, that goes more towards the first comment, not the second, right?
Well, the second, I guess what's different about the adjacent buildings, stylistically, yes, they're from different styles, different eras, whatnot. We're not saying you need to mimic that necessarily, but we're pointing to that to say there is a lot more variation and articulation within the massing of that building that is not complementary towards. It's a very just, in terms of massing, it's not, you're going to create a really large form that really has very minimal articulation.
Should we move on?
Please.
Okay. The third one is in relationship to the first floor level being 35% of glass area versus what we have is 19. I do a lot of projects all over the place. Where you have these higher percentage of glass is in a mixed-use type project. Meaning commercial on the bottom, residential above. Obviously, commercial wants to have a lot more glass because they're trying to sell, you know? Obviously, we have a privacy issue and we want to make sure that our tenants feel safe within the building. This part of the requirement is really geared towards a mixed-use development that you would probably see in a city downtown where you have a large commercial entity that is there. Adding, you know, that type of glass percentage is, it's not right to the
suitable.
character of a residential building. It just doesn't fit, similar to what you saw in those others two across the street. They don't have a 35. I know it's not at the same time frame, but it's not appropriate for a residential building. It's more appropriate for a mixed-use building. And that's where kind of sometimes when looking at these code items or these items you have here, it's really geared towards a downtown, central downtown kind of infrastructure and development and how it should play and how it should look. Right now, we're at, you know, that percentage, and we've increased the size of the windows to make them even bigger than we would traditionally do. But if it, you know, comes to a point I just can't go too much bigger than that because I do have other things within the space that, you know, take up room, such as mechanical on the exterior wall, as you can see the louvers, where I wouldn't be able to put any glass there in those areas.
And these windows are 6 feet by 6 feet, you know, if you think how big your windows in the house where you live are, I'm sure these are the same or even bigger, because that's pretty big for a residential window. We can add another window in the community room, you know, that should be no problem, but it's not gonna, you know, increase percentage much more.
Yeah, it won't bring that much higher at the end of the day. It'll do a benefit to the community room, which should have more windows because it is a gathering space where you would want to have more light when you're doing something like that. So,
I'm gonna go back to the fact that we have standards in place.
yep,
We hired a firm who is very knowledgeable with tons of experience that helped walk us through this process.
Yep.
But perhaps they have it wrong for a use like this?
I think the way I think the intent is good. Don't get me wrong. I just think in the placement and the location of it is not appropriate. You know, because this is the suburb, you're out in this, out further in the rural area versus in an urban area where this is really more applicable. It's the same thing when you look at that building elevation, that building rendering that you had in here.
Yeah.
That's something you would see more likely in a city, you know, flat roof. You got the architecturally, you have a base, you have the middle, you have a cap. And that's what you would normally see in a city. You know, you always have those retail on the base right there, a lot of glass, but you have like a separation between it, and then you get into the residential, and then you have a cap on the building. Really geared towards a city or, you know, downtown type architecture. I think it's appropriate just for that type of location. And again, I'm only basing off my experience and being an architect, that's all.
Yeah, you know, I've been an architect for 40 years and I've done housing for 20 years. Can you imagine living on the first floor and having windows all the way down to the floor?
And ceiling.
What does it do to your privacy? You cannot,
I don't think we're saying that.
well, that's how you get percentage.
That's how the increase to get
You
to
have
that.
to increase the size of the windows.
Yeah,
That's the only way to do it.
yeah.
Just one.
You know
one-
how it's calculated. You calculate the square footage.
I understand how it's done.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
so you need more glass. So how do you get more glass? You make your windows bigger.
No, that's.
Just one.
But not all the way to the floor. Go ahead.
Just one point to clarify, to your earlier point. So in the zoning code, commercial and mixed use requires 50% glass on the first floor. The residential projects only require 35%. So there's already a higher standard for the types of projects he was describing. The residential use is actually at a lower percentage of only 35. And I think we've made some recommendations to the types of spaces or the, you know, having slider doors or, you know, the community room, the fitness room, the offices, all of those spaces that are non-residential spaces could include some additional lighting.
Can do it,
It-
but it will increase it from 19.7 to 21.
Understood.
Right.
I think your point is, these are your recommendations, and which I don't disagree with you, because they are more of a non-residential, you know,
Right.
yeah, I'm not walking around in my underwear and
Yeah.
having a massive
Yeah.
window right there.
Yeah, we
Not
stated-
that visual bad, I know it is.
yeah, we stated, we knew you're not gonna hit 35, right?
Could be
That was
worse.
his comment.
Here, we just want you to understand we
That's
will
all.
not reach 35.
Yeah,
We can
that was in the
barely
comment.
will
Understood.
have
Understood.
to
You can go to 36.
Got it.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's move on. Trying to find the next one here. Which one is it we on now? We're on to the next one down here. This is this is the vinyl siding. Again, I mean, it's different than what's in the neighborhood. We're asked to be part of the neighborhood and think about it. And I'm looking at this from a cost factor myself, not necessarily architectural factor. I got an estimate from my contractor to transition from the vinyl to a hardy plank, a cementitious board. That's a $400,000 ad. I mean, it's all these, I went through and had him give me a price for all this stuff. I'm at close to $1 million to do all that. To even think about doing it. That right there is a 400,000. It's just extremely expensive to do all that in a building this size. And it meets, I mean, it ties into the other buildings from the standpoint of the finishes and architecturally. So that's my comment, I guess.
So you're saying there's a question about the vinyl siding?
Yeah.
Vinyl siding
You
is-
have it illustrated here. How about sideways?
Yeah, we got it, we do vertical and horizontal.
Because I don't see any horizontal.
Yeah, right there, you can see the entrance is there.
Oh,
It goes both ways.
Okay.
The manufacturers are very creative nowadays in how they can do this and how it looks. I mean, it's come a long ways from what you've known and seen in the past.
from a safety standpoint, I'm glad to hear that you're planning on putting sprinklers in the attic and such.
Yeah, I mean, with the
As recently.
today's
unfortunately-
codes, it makes it's difficult not to tell you the truth. I mean, it's just too many incidents.
It's not long ago, we've had a couple of major fires in, complexes like this,
Yeah,
right around the corner and such.
no, I agree. I had a meeting with the fire chief this afternoon and he went through every single one of them with me and showed me photographs just to make sure I understood.
And
So
this,
so the language, I'm sorry, Chuck, go ahead.
I was gonna say, on this elevation that I'm looking at, are the colors relatively close to what you had planned?
Yeah, I mean, obviously those renderings, in a sense, you're not 100%, but it's close in the family, yes.
It's like the dark brown, if that's what that is. It's
Yes,
Super dark, I think.
it's a darker, yes, much
And
darker.
I see you mixing up the colors, like trying to emulate the European styling a little bit.
I'm not-
Yeah,
Which is a
if you
good
want to
thing, I
look at it that way, yeah.
Pardon?
Maybe, that was not the intent, but yeah, kind of.
Where you have, a stretch like this, at least 3 different colors,
Yeah.
repeating some.
Yep.
Okay, well, you have to work on some of these other details now.
Well, the idea of different colors was to separate the building so that it doesn't read so long.
Sure.
Yeah, break it up. Chairman, I'm sorry.
So the language relative to the vinyl siding, and I'll just read it. The use of vinyl is prohibited.
Yep.
For principal structure.
Yep.
This provision is non-waivable and non-modifiable.
Understood.
So that would either be changed by you, or that would be part of our recommendation to the town board as to deny or to approve
Understood.
conditioned on.
Understood.
That's a pretty big one for me.
Yep.
Again, these are the stipulations that have been put in place by our elected body townwide. If we start saying, well, it's okay here, the next applicant's gonna come in and say, you didn't make them do it.
Mhm.
I think it's pretty important to stick with our standards.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm trying to get as close as I can in these areas.
I understand your perspective, sure.
Trying to achieve it. And I think, Anthony's been helpful in his recommendations as well to get to those areas. So
Yeah,
I'm
good.
I'm putting the reality of, can I get this project financially feasible to get it built and get it done? I mean, right now, it's very difficult, to say the least.
Understand.
The next one is the washer and dryer. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, in the sense of the washer and dryers, I think as Attorney Jeffrey spoke about earlier today, traditionally, affordable housing developments don't have washer and dryers within the units because you're affordable. And they want to make sure that these tenants have a place within the building that they can do their laundry. And that's why they want us to have a central location. Because they don't know, but mostly people can't afford, truthfully, to carry a washer and dryer with them where they go, or buy new ones to bring in there to those locations. And it's not, and plus it's extremely expensive because I gotta add that additional square footage, add all that additional cost into it, where, again, the state, and this is not just New York, it's all the states I've been in for the affordable housing. They want to create a central location so that they guarantee that the people living there have a place.
That central location has to be always under surveillance. And also, just think, it's a 3-story building that's not for seniors.
Can you do me a favor, move a little closer? Like
Oh,
there's
I'm
people at
sorry.
home that make.
yeah.
can't hear.
I apologize. This is a 3-story building, not for seniors. A lot of 3-story buildings are just walk-ups. Young people don't walk up. They have to be able to walk downstairs to get to the laundry. I mean, I do not understand the advantage of having laundry on every floor versus laundry room. I'm not talking in the units. I mean, they proposed to have a laundry room on every floor. Why? Why not just go down? There is an elevator, go down the elevator.
I'm not gonna answer that question because
Yeah.
it's obvious.
Yeah.
Understood.
From my perspective, this is one I'm willing to tell the board that they should concede on, but
Yeah.
put one on every floor, not in every unit, one on every floor. I think that's a reasonable compromise. And I'm not gonna tell you why I think it's better to have one on every floor than
Understood.
one on the first floor.
Understood. I will look into it and see what I can do, for sure. Okay.
Other comments? Speak up, folks.
Mhm.
Amy?
Is there any guidelines about how many washing machines need to
Yes.
be?
Yes,
There
there
is-
is
there is-
calculation per, there is a formula per bedrooms and per units. Yes,
There's a calculation. We had to meet a certain number based upon the population within the building.
yeah, and at least one of them has to be accessible for people in wheelchair.
Yeah.
So front loaded.
May I ask, which housing program, is it a LIHTC project,
LIHTC.
is it HCR?
It's a light, HCR LIHTC,
What percentage is it? Is it
8 or 9%.
a 9% LIHTC? Okay, so
Mhm.
those are the design standards you're following?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
And again, Anthony, they will traditionally, they'll fund as part of the tax credit application, they'll fund a central location. They will not fund individuals within the rooms.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right, no, I understand.
Because again. Chairman, anything else on this one? You wanna?
Nope, we're good.
The last one is elevator.
Yeah, number 7, is it? Yeah, number 7, we get into, is a question about having 2 elevators versus 1. Again, traditionally, in most, I would say all I've ever done, 3-story walk-ups, they traditionally don't have elevators at all. Just recently in, I know Mass and Connecticut, we're required to put elevators in, just a single. 2 elevators is way overkill in that. It's just not necessary, and I don't, It's just very financially wise, it's another 300,000+ just to get that in there. 'Cause-
That's all? I thought it'd be more.
Yeah, thank you. I wish it was cheaper, but that's everything for an assembly with, you know, the firewalls, et cetera.
And
So you are
not only
putting
it will
in,
be,
Sorry, what's that?
you are.
I have
putting
one,
an
yeah, I have
elevator.
one in the building, yes, absolutely.
and it's
Our
large
code
enough
requires
to,
two.
Yeah.
yeah, and that elevator is oversized, large enough to fit a gurney.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely has to be.
Yeah, because if we have to add a second elevator, in addition to extra cost, we will lose a unit on every floor because it will just take up room. There is no playroom.
No.
Uh, So it's substantial hardship.
So I've done some research on this and, I would be willing to tell the town board to approve the one elevator.
Understood.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thoughts? Team?
Yeah,
Don't
I
make me
agree.
go.
Same.
Just 3 floors. If one elevator needs repair, then what do you do?
People walk. I just did 110 floors on the Stairmaster today.
This is the ideal place for you. No, I wish I had that then. But it's like anything. We got service agreements with the elevator company. They come out immediately. I mean, it's like anything. I mean, we'll have security at the building. If the thing doesn't work and people can't get in, you know, I get the company back out there to fix it. It's the same thing with your HVAC system inside. If it breaks, it's all service contracts. Something goes wrong. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's possible.
We're good on that one.
Number 8, anything you're recommending painting everything to match, you're saying?
Just so that any of the gutters,
Gutters,
downspouts
downspouts.
or whatnot are just matching whatever the adjacent surface they're against, just so that they're not apparent.
Okay. We all set with that? We can move on to the site comments on there? Yep. Okay, this is confirming that the bike storage room allow for storage, e-bikes and scooters, yeah, it does. Just the chargers need to be put and charged in the outside lockers. And that's it. Forgot to mention, the fire chief did ask, and this might be a building code requirement or electrical code requirement, that the bike storage room itself does not have any outlets in it, so that kids don't end up bringing their chargers in there and try to charge it. You know, I'm all for that. I just gotta take a look at the codes and see what they tell me. That's all. So either way, we'll find some type of provision maybe to make it work for the fire chief.
Yeah, I don't know.
The next item. Concrete walkway.
There was an item about.
No, these are here. This is down further.
Okay.
Consider extending the concrete walkway down to the heading south down to the loop.
I think, I don't know if it was you at previous. Across.
Oh, you already did that?
Yeah, here.
Okay. Taken care of. Thank you. And then there's new comments here. Anthony doesn't like our exterior package area. Doesn't say that, but. But in any case, the package area, one of the reasons why we put it there is speaking to our partners, Vesta Corp, as well as our property manager, they wanted to keep it there. Because it's just, from a management wise of the space inside, it becomes a problem. And these become lockable outside, and that's where they would like to keep it. So it's more of an operational, thing versus anything else.
What are your thoughts, Anthony?
I guess the reason for the comment, the only concern would be, deliveries come, the code doesn't work on the lockers, and now you have packages kind of scattered throughout the exterior of the building that are just there because they're not going to take the package and they're dropping it. It's really just more of a visual than anything else to see those lockers on the outside. If they're in the interior, then you're not having to worry about those packages being outside. Yeah, it was just a consideration, a comment,
Yeah, that's all.
nothing I can rely on the code for, you know, a certain requirement or anything, but.
So if the combination didn't work,
Yeah.
How does the other complex next door treat theirs?
I don't know. I don't know, to tell you the truth.
They've been there a while and there's a lot of people that keep buying things.
People never stop buying things.
Just
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't gone by, I've been there a couple times, but I haven't gone by there asking about their package storage, how they handle it. But, Anthony, I will bring it up to our property manager and see if they have a solution, and I'll let you know.
thank you.
Yep. You want to provide additional information on the proposed solar panel area? I believe our roof plan has, locations on it. I know our, sustainability consultant, is running the models on it now. So, it's all part of the taxpayer application now. It's all, I don't have that plan with me, but it should have been on the last set that came through.
Do we know, I guess, is this like an optional component that if it's gets funded for whatever program you're going through, it'll be implemented? Like, is this a maybe kind of item? Because it wasn't in the last submission, but we see it in this one, so.
That is correct. It wasn't in the last mission. This one, it will be. So like I said, we're running the numbers now on it to see, because it all plays into the numbers, as well as the sustainability requirements. The affordable housing projects versus a market rate project are night and day when it comes to sustainability. The state puts so much more onto these projects that have a higher sustainability. Some states want you to be passive house. I mean, just to get there is extremely expensive. But the way they look at it, we're going to fund it, we want the most out of it, versus a market rate will just give you the bare bones, meet code. So we're just running the numbers now. I haven't seen anything. They were supposed to be out today, but I haven't seen them. Chairman, I think that was all.
So just to go back to the parking a little bit, you know, we had talked about the code and what it requires.
Yep.
Anthony came up with a compromise I think works. You know, so I just want to make sure the town board is aware of the fact that what they're proposing, the 117 spots.
Yeah, rely on my civil, but yeah, we wanted to be, and I gave you a whole study on that.
Yeah.
Trying to be at the 1.5 ratio. We're now 1.6 something. And Anthony did his research on it. I know Mark did his as well, you know, showing that, you know, that ratio is appropriate.
So our code shows it needs 148 right now. I think we're at 117.
Yeah.
So just want to make sure the town board is aware of that fact.
It would go up to the town board, they would have it.
Okay. And I want to talk about density a little bit. You did send us a letter regarding the conversation that we had last time.
Yes, I did.
You mentioned a lot of reasoning for it, housing reasoning, states pushing for it. And I fall back on our guidelines.
Yeah.
So with our guidelines, we would be at, find my numbers. Bear with me one second. Different notes. So you're at a 30% increase.
Yeah.
From what's allowed.
Yeah. From a application standpoint,
Yes.
it would not pencil out financially to get to be awarded tax credits. That's why I needed to be higher in that. Even when I came back with 74, after we started running the numbers and the points, because it's all a competitive application standpoint, I had to lose some units to make it financially work. And to be higher in the point categories to be successful, to win, hopefully. At a lower percentage, this project would not get off the ground, unfortunately.
So when we set our standards, we put a lot of thought into it as well, just like the state does.
Yep. Yep.
Relative to traffic, right, and all sorts of things. You had mentioned at one point the impervious surface.
Yes.
That's another factor. from my perspective, I think 30% is a big increase.
Understood.
You guys follow me on this? Talking about the number of units. They're 30% over what would be allowed in an RM, a residential multifamily. And that's the standard the town established based on our needs, our residents' needs. And I understand your arguments, and they all make sense. But I put my town first. And I think whether or not you can do it, I think that needs to be adjusted. I think it needs to go down to about 15%.
I,
That would be my recommendation to the town board.
I'm not 100% confident, but I'm pretty close to it that this project would not happen then. It's just, there's no way.
And then the town board would have to make a decision whether or not they want the project.
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
meet our
Do they
standard.
do they want affordable housing or not? You know, and to meet the needs of the area as well as the upcoming plant, et cetera, adjacent to you guys. So it's really, it comes down to that, I guess. I can run the numbers and do all that stuff again and, you know, based upon, you know, my consultant, I needed to be at this number to make it, to give us the greatest chance of actually winning and still making the thing financially work. So. Noted.
Thoughts? Hear what I'm saying?
I do, I understand what you're saying. I feel the building's just too long, like one big, long building. Maybe reducing the number of units would help with that.
That would help a number of things, but they have a financial part of it that they have to look at.
Yeah.
And I get that 100%.
But it looks like a downtown city block.
Anything else, Mark?
There's a lot of notes.
Yes, and see, I appreciate you taking a lot of notes.
Mark, your comments, are you squared away?
Yeah, we're pretty much squared away. Few minor comments that again, I did speak with them about. So, yeah, this plan addresses the majority of our comments again with the people here.
You mentioned the state DOT, making sure they're comfortable with the Traffic.
They got correspondence indicating they were.
sidewalks, good. Okay. That's everything I have, unless you have anything additional.
I don't know. No, I don't.
Dean? Anthony, anything else?
All set. Thank you.
Steve?
No, thank you.
Yep. Mark?
I guess we just talk briefly about next steps. I believe Steve, the town board is scheduled a public hearing for the 26th.
Yep.
This board meets again on the 19th. So if we wanted to provide a recommendation, that's the next step for this board really, is to make a recommendation to the town board. You've expressed a number of items that you would like the applicant to address. The applicant has indicated that they may or may not be able to address those. So I would say by mid next week, provide a response, revised plans, addressing the items that you feel you can accommodate, crosswalks, etc. And if there's those that you can't, I guess I would suggest providing your reasoning for that.
Yep.
And then that'll give the board time to review the information that's been presented and begin to craft the recommendation. So if, for instance, the plane of the building, they don't modify their design to address that, your recommendation would be that they should, right? And that's for a number of issues, perhaps, the amount of glass, et cetera, whatever.
Yeah.
So, so I think that's the path forward.
No, I appreciate that, Mark. That, yes, that's
Yeah.
absolutely correct. That's,
And ultimately, again, board's going to make, the planning board will be making a recommendation to the town board. Suggesting approved plan is presented or approve it with these, or we suggest these modifications. And then it's up to the town board to take that information and your recommendations and listen to the applicant and hold public hearing, listen to the public, and then make a decision one way or the other, whether they want to force them to make modifications or everything. And that goes for the density, all those items that we discussed. So I think that's the path forward. I just wanted to suggest that if they're not able to turn it around in a week in time for you guys to get the information and adequately review it, I'd suggest, public hearing be held, but that would suggest the town board that they hold if they get direct.
Yeah, they can just keep it open.
So,
Yeah.
but if we want to try to keep this on track and get the recommendation back to town board prior to their public hearing, I'd say that's the schedule in the process process. to go forward.
It's a bit aggressive, but it can be done.
yes, it will get done. It will get done. So we'll get that information to Mark and to Anthony and Steve. So we'll get those to you. But yeah, we do need to meet that date, and
Okay.
I will do whatever whatever I have to do to get it done.
Very good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Be right back. I'll find mine. Next item on the agenda is CNY Golf Shop. This is a continuation of a site plan for the property at 8457 Burton Road. Welcome back.
Hi, good evening, Tim Coyer, iNews and Romans, and
For CNY Golf and Range.
we were here a couple weeks ago. Gonna quick hand out some smaller prints for everybody.
Appreciate that.
Like that.
Thank you.
Known for these, handing out the new architecturals. These are fresh off the press, just a few hours ago, so don't know if you've looked at them just yet.
Thank you, sir.
Do have full sizes of everything, you think? Anything, you guys?
Sure, we'll share one.
Yeah. Use the site plan as well?
We could probably figure, thank you.
Yeah, organized here, so. Main changes that we've made to the site plan specifically are we removed the 10 parking spaces in the front that we talked about last time. We're showing the northerly entrance being removed over here. We got a letter from the DOT, state DOT, they're okay with that. We were moving this parking over here to satisfy Aquep. And we moved the dumpster enclosure out of the easement area up here, again, to satisfy Aquep. We added some birch trees in front of the new parking area over here. We have added 2 bump outs on the building facade to address the architecturals, which I'll go down through real quick. So we did add the architectural bump outs here and here, and we're gonna paint those black to stand out from the existing gray building. We did, on the new architecturals that you should have, we did add overhangs, roof overhangs for the entrances to protect that. That satisfies item number 2. We added the light standards to the architecturals here, and here to satisfy item number 3. Again, the sign standards, we're gonna do the sign all separately from the site plan. We do not have the exact location of the utility for the new addition, but they will not be in the front of the building, the side of the building, or on the roof, so that all the mechanicals will be either in the building or behind the building. So I just wanted to make that note. The only other item that we did not satisfy is the item number 1 as far as the windows sizes. Again, I think we talked about this a little bit, couple previous meetings. One item that the reason that they wanted them, she wants them smaller is security purposes as far as people breaking in. And the other item for reason for them being smaller is, the sun coming in, and these are gonna be the projector screens for the golf simulators. So less light is better for the simulators to keep them, visual, and so you can see them better, basically. So those are the reasoning behind the lack of window sizes. Other than that, those are the major changes that we've made. One item that we do have to address is the hydrant out front. We will be putting in a new proposed hydrant. The two hydrants that are north and south of us are just a little too far away for us to meet fire code. But we have contacted Aqua, and we will be putting in a new hydrant to satisfy that.
These are real hot off the press.
It's real hot off the press.
Go ahead to talk about the windows.
No.
Or you get the answer already?
So
I mean, based on my last conversation.
again, the windows on the proposed building, you're talking about these ones, right?
Both?
Yep. Again, the reasoning she did not want to make them bigger or more is security purposes and light getting into the building.
The natural light leaves a glare on the machines, the sim unit. So,
Look at that window.
sorry, excuse me.
See what's on top of it?
Oh, blind?
Blinds.
Yeah. Wow. Besides
This is a
that,
requirement.
besides that fact was the fact of the security. That's the main reason is the security. Because we've had the break-ins 2 years ago. The previous owner was there. Everything was stolen, nothing was reimbursed or found through the police. So that was a huge thing that had happened. And also the motorsports down the road got broken into. That was a year ago. And we've had the cops there already 5 times for people stealing balls out back, walking around the building, trying to look in the old windows that we had. And there's been a break-in at the Plainville, which is right near us. So there's been lots of break-ins, lots of people walking, riding bikes, just trying to go around every building near us. So we figured if they're up high, they can't reach them, they can't look in, they won't try to break them. Aesthetically, I think it looks good and even and all in that sense, but it's primarily 90% for security purposes.
And there's workarounds for that. In fact, the architect mentioned it.
I saw that part, yeah. I mean, we don't want it to look like a prison with bars and screens and stuff like that.
Close the blinds.
Blinds that we can't reach because they're 16 foot up. But if we needed to do more, would the board be acceptable to 8 of the same 3x5 windows on the front of the new building? If we space them perfectly apart, like if we did 3 in the first gray path before the black offset, and then we did the one, the sign, the one, the other black offset, and 3 more on that end of the building. If we did 8 total, would that be acceptable just for the look of it and for,
So what I'm gonna say is
visual
that,
purposes?
what I'm gonna tell you is that code requires 50%. I'm gonna tell you, go back and work on that. 50% gets an approval. Anything less than that, there may be discussion. You have a little bit of leeway, right?
Okay.
But that's too far away from what we require. And there's remedies to your concerns, blinds, rods, security systems.
Yeah.
You want it to look nice. And I know you do too.
Yeah, we do. And we've tried every avenue to make it, pleasing, to make it good for the board and pleasing and aesthetically beautiful and all of that. We
Just-
want to.
Just a thought, what does the code and what does everybody think about like a false window? How does that address?
Technically, it refers to that as not being applicable to,
Not being-
well, but yeah, it doesn't.
That was just a thought that popped in.
And do you feel like 8 windows of the 3x5 is 50% or no? How much more do I need? A lot more?
So the bigger thing also is that the percentage is based on a datum from 2 feet above finished floor to 8 feet above finished floor. So your window's up at 16 or 14.
16 at the top. right
That,
under
that's
the
not even
top.
within the area that qualifies for that percentage of transparency.
Bring them down.
So I guess the various studies have shown that actually more transparency and allowing for illumination even through hours of the night when you're not open gives the suggestion that there's somebody on the interior of the building, and that actually reduces the amount of break-ins and crimes, because not only can they be seen when they do break in, if they break in, but it actually deters them because they think someone's on the interior. So more glass and more illumination actually deters break-ins than walling it all off and having it completely closed. So, yeah.
I
it's-
think if they look in and see the $50,000 simulator unit, so I think they would be apt to want to break in to get them, because they're not attached to anything. They're kind of movable.
Does it have to be glass you can
think
see
they
through?
would
Like,
want
what
to
about the
be-
block glass?
The way it's written, it's transparent. It's,
How about curtains?
No.
See, they're smart, these people. They know, they'll do whatever it takes to get in. Like, they broke through steel doors 2 years ago when the previous owner had passed. They knew he had passed, and they broke through very thick steel doors with 3 locks, and they broke the frames and they broke in. Cause they knew there was golf stuff worth a lot of money in there and a lot of inventory, and we have quadrupled the inventory now. So they knew if they got in there and they, within the time before the cops could even come, cleared the whole entire building. So we're more anxious and aware that, you know what I mean?
Did he have security then?
so
Yes, he had security cameras, he had the cops still checking, and he also had an alarm system. We have more cameras than before, probably quadruple the cameras. We have 2 security systems. And also, wood put up on the interior with the doors, plus 3 locks, plus cameras that can be seen on the watch and on the phone and at home also. And the cops do now come and drive around more often, because we've had to call them so many times, and we get charged every time we call them. So I think if it was open, they would try, like with the motorsports, they had big windows, the full length, like what you're saying. And they took a car and drove right through the window, hit 13 teens, broke in, stole, I think it was, I don't know, close to, I don't know, 10 to 15 SUVs and snowmobiles. So the bigger windows made it so they could drive the car through and do it. So motorsports had to put big, huge cement squares there so they can't drive through now. But I think knowing what they would feel our inventory is and the simulator units that are so expensive, being able to especially see that, whether I have blinds or not, they know it's there, they're more apt to try to do it. So I was just trying to protect that, you know, that whole situation. And all the inventory that was lost prior was never reclaimed. We never got it back. The cops never found out who did it. We were never able to do anything about it. So, you know, it's like your whole livelihood is gone in a matter of 30 minutes, I think they did it. So I'm really nervous about that part, putting all this time and work
Yeah, I get that
and
100%.
money into it
It's crazy.
to lose it.
But the security grills, and I don't think they necessarily have to look like prisons. They'll take care of that issue with relative to the windows.
they can coil, so they don't have to be permanent. So they could be brought down after hours and then lifted up during the time, that get recessed above the ceiling or in a box. They don't have to be permanent, security gates on the interior. And I guess my position here is not to design your project, but in looking at your plan, that lounge space that's outside of your simulator space, if that was the area in which you incorporated the majority of your transparency, and then you separate that with another locked door on the interior so that that room is completely separated from your simulation, now you're creating a secondary security kind of separation on the interior of your building. If somebody decided to smash that glass, they'd only be limited to that lounge space instead of all the way through the entire building, just by creating that separation.
50% of your windows that you need just in the lounge. Then you have the whole other part steel, pure steel.
I'm saying that would result in more than 2.5%. So it would definitely get you much closer if that was presented as, the lounge gets all glass, and then maybe it would be up to the board, right? And I'm not designing your project, but that would be like one things that I think would eliminate the security concern, because the lounge probably has minimal equipment in it, right? But you can have some transparency incorporated into that room and separated from the rest of your building.
Feel the rest of the building. Would that be
Right.
an option?
We took them out.
Well, we gotta,
We'd have to, of course,
we have to show it to them and come up with a calculation as far as how much we now would have by doing something like that.
And that's just talking about the addition, right? The existing building. I don't understand I don't have enough drawings to know what's going on in the interior of that building. But the windows that were there are now not there anymore, right? In this current proposal, so.
in the old building, it's not there, but we are putting 2 1x4 egress windows in up high. It's only a 12-foot ceiling instead of 16-foot to the station soffit. So up close to that, probably about, I think, 7.5 inches down is a 1-foot by 4-foot egress. And they're like one here, a space, and another one where the existing windows used to be. So there is gonna be 2 windows on the old building, but they're high up and smaller than the 3x5.
Yeah, you're gonna need to add windows to that section as well.
How many do you think?
Well, we
I
got,
don't wanna
We
design
have
it.
to figure
Yeah, I'm
it
not
out.
gonna,
we have to figure out the calculation.
Okay, so you want 50% on both buildings, kind of?
Well, it's 50% total of the
Total.
building facade
Okay,
base. So
okay,
50% of this area,
okay. So if
or
we
as
can-
close to it as we can get.
So if we can spread out enough windows, maybe we can do it that way. Yeah, okay. We can work on it.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on the bump outs?
I don't get them.
I think technically, by the way the zoning is written, it is a plane, a wall plane that does have that 2-foot differential, so. By the letter, I guess it does apply. It's not necessarily a fin or anything like the last proposal.
So
Kind of like our last discussion.
I heard discussion, and again, we're
It's a
not doing a
plane.
wing wall. We're
Right.
doing a base that sticks out 2 feet.
yeah, it's definitely 2 foot out, like a square void, but it's noticeable.
Just don't ask me what I think aesthetically. but-
Stands
but
out.
What do you think aesthetically?
It stands out.
Does this comply with our standards?
By the way, I think yes, by the way it's written. But you're still up to make your decision, right?
So
This
it's def-
complies because it's wider than the last project?
I would consider it's wide enough to be a wall plane. It's a plane that it's not just a wing wall or anything that's protruding or a pier type element. It's a wall plane. That's all.
Sticks out, very noticeable.
I don't think it's what was intended.
Do you want it wider? Is that what you're getting at? Like let more than 6 feet of a wall plane? Is that what what you're saying? It doesn't,
No.
isn't,
So what
Yeah,
if,
like
what
30
if
feet.
your missed area here where your sign is, that whole area was bumped out?
Or you would want like. yeah,
That's a
bigger
bump out to me.
portion
That's
of it.
substantial, not just a 2 feet that sticks out.
Well, it's 6 foot width by 2, so it sticks out 2 foot, 6 foot width, so 6 foot and then 2 foot back, kind of like a rectangle that sets out. Very noticeable that sets out for a void. You know what I'm saying? Like a rectangle that sets out 2 foot and 2 foot with a 6 foot width, so it's like a void.
So it bumps out or it doesn't?
it does bump out. I
It does
mean,
bump out, yeah.
whether or not it's as, it definitely bumps out to 2 by 6.
Aesthetically
foot
pleasing
bump out.
enough for that.
You put a
yeah.
big roof over connecting the 2 bump outs.
Do you think that would look?
I was just thinking that.
That would look pretty, like different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be
That would
the
be pretty. That
character.
A little bit
that-
wider.
That's an
Maybe
easy
a little
fix.
bit
It would make
wider.
it look wider, yeah. That's an easy
And-
fix. 'cause we
Instead
did
of these
that with the-
little caps, like connect that to with mimic your peak.
Yeah, like that would be pretty if those 6 foot bump outs had that triangle roof. That would be easy to do. That
Oh,
was
so
kind of
you're
like-
just saying here. That we're
Yeah.
saying, like, I'm
Like you're
saying
trying to
connect
do
the
it.
2,
That would make, that would,
more substantial.
Break it up.
All right.
definitely change.
I was
a
gonna
lot
mention
of,
cupolas, but that's a better idea.
change a lot of, trusses in
Well-
unless we're making it like a.
Just drop.
Again,
like a
these
facade.
are suggestions. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take them back, the architect, sit down with her and just make sure and come up with something as close to what they're looking for as possible that meets what you need and what meets what they need.
I
That's
like-
kind of where we're gonna go.
Yeah, I like the look of it. I think it'd be easy like we did with the, the canopies, you know, the triangle
Yeah.
canopies above each doorway.
Yeah.
Those are easy, so I think we can make this easy and not, too expensive. So I think that the way that you're recommending it would be something that we could do.
On the drawing, I see a small one there by the great door.
Oh, the one above the door, yeah, that's like the little canopy, but it can have a wood, you know,
Yes.
and it's like a overhang, so when they walk through, they don't get rained on when they come in,
Exactly.
yeah. So that's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, we might be able to do something in here that doesn't affect the trusses.
Yeah.
Like a false.
Control look at that, but not have it
Sure.
affect the structure itself.
Yeah, because you got a pretty good
Not in our.
distances.
Yeah. I think we could do that, and it would be the black steel with the white, wrapped in steel, any of the wood for that triangle.
Yep.
So it would look pretty, because they have a different color variation.
Yeah, that'd be nice looking.
Yeah, that would be cute, yeah, I think we could do that.
Hey, we're here to help.
I'm glad.
Tim, did you address the architectural comments on landscaping at all?
We added the 21 shrubs on the site plan and the 9 shrubs, let me see here, permanent landscape. So, thought we added the trees.
To the parking lot, those
Yeah.
squares, we added the trees that you guys asked for last meeting. The trees with the 4 flowers around it, those were the 11 by 18 dividers of every
just-
10
you-
slide.
These
Are
are
you asking
comments from the
about
August
the-
4th, this August 4th.
You're talking about the overall number of shrubs?
Yes.
Okay. We didn't change anything as far as what we originally, we submitted the second time. So we still have the 20.
I did. A
And
little
we
bit
just put the
short.
shrubs on we added the 9 shrubs around the dumpster with a raised spot, because you said you wanted more, you know, for it to look aesthetically beautiful and for it to kind of conceal it. So we have the white vinyl around the dumpster, and then we added a raised bed with black mulch, and then the 9 spirias that are yellow green. So, and they grow, you know, substantial. So we added those, we added the white birch to the 11 by 18 dividers in the parking lot. And we offset, like you wanted the offset, white birch along Route 11 in front of the new parking lot. So, and we did add all of the bed in front of the new building. It was like 3 foot by 70. We're gonna make a raised bed, and we added the spirias and I think we used black-eyed Susans. So we spread each bush out with flowers. So that's like a 3 by 70 area in front of the new building. So every spot literally has either a bed, flowers, trees, or bushes. We did it all around the whole property.
Yeah, it falls a little bit short of our requirements. It does look very nice.
Oh.
I love your enthusiasm.
Well, yeah,
Would it make sense where you remove that parking lot to put some trees along there as well?
In here?
we could.
Yeah.
Does
And
it-
maybe-
can I
maybe
stick
we
with the
can-
Ones that I have, like I could put the white birch
White
along
birch
there.
are
too.
nice.
The single strand, I just think they're pretty.
Yeah, you
And-
gotta look out.
Oh, it might go into
The
that.
sewer line's right here, but
Oh,
we did add some over in here.
yeah, I added the raised bed with the flowers. Those are daylilies.
Maybe what we look
Two
at is,
evergreen in them.
maybe we'll look at adding something in this area.
In front of the old building?
Yes,
If you can't do that, park in the old parking area.
we'll look at the old parking area and we'll look at that.
We can definitely add maybe more raised beds to that area. We didn't put the cement. That grass area, because if trees go into the water sewer line, can we do raised beds there more?
You can do.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah. Yeah, we can do like maybe 2 longer oval raised beds separate in that grass area where we didn't put the parking, and add some bushes and daylilies, like you can make that pretty too, so it's not just grass in front of that, the old parking. We could do
Okay.
that.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
So, does this mean we can get a conditional or?
No.
Oh, we have to wait. I have to bring another drawing back to you on the next date. But if we fulfill all those,
Not because of me, it's because of our attorney. He's the mean one.
I don't see it in your eyes. Say way. Don't say way, don't be
Oh,
nasty.
it's me, it's me.
Oh,
I could override him.
oh, you can?
I'm not gonna.
Oh,
Never have.
okay, well, so if we meet those, then we will be close. Is it possible to get a conditional at that meeting?
If that mean, I would suspect you'd be done. We'll do a final approval.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Take that.
Gee, there's only 2 items, but it's about 110 in here. Is it broke? It
You probably shut it off.
was like 30 last time. Next item is a continuation of a site plan for the property at 7991 State Route 31 for a restaurant. Welcome back. How are you tonight?
Yeah, hang on. Do I pick up from the comments?
What's that?
I pick up from the comments, address those?
Yeah, go over the modifications that you made based on the comments. Yep.
Okay, so they have, materials and colors. Let me make sure I got the right thing here. Indicate stone veneer manufacturer, color and type on the elevations. The stone that we're putting on this is a techo block, so it's an architectural stone.
What happened to the stone on front?
I'm not putting the stone. Well, we are on the stone is going across the front and the bottom, but not on the front. On the building itself.
And it's kind of a significant change from the last time. It's much smaller, lower, and it doesn't go on the entrance, right?
The entrance is,
I think it needs to go back to the way it was. That's what we were expecting.
okay, the only problem I had with that was I can't match the columns on the other side with that. I wanted to have the stone match the whole. You know, so all the columns match, this is what I got in the front. Which. The complete match, so there's no 2 different kinds of stone on there.
So. Seems like this, so this is the stone here?
No, I don't know what these.
Well, there was stone all along here too.
Yes, there was.
I need to go back.
Okay. This is the stone that we got.
And so that's what you're showing here.
Correct.
And Anthony, you're saying it just doesn't carry up along here?
No, the previous submission had a stacked stone. It was actually a finished, stone that was different than the patio surround. The patio surround always showed the CMU veneer as the material he's referencing today. The entrance had more of a split stone. It was more of a decorative stone than it was a block.
What they had on there initially.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was the intention wasn't to do that in the first place, so I had to draw it up and. Wanted everything to match, so it was continuous. And I feel it's too much stone on that small of a building, but
I like the original one.
you like this one, I promise. I do them nice.
You what?
I said I do them nice. I'm not, I don't use the plastic veneer that I see, a lot of these people bringing in, which is approved, which
Yep.
that's the cheap stuff. right? So I'm using real stone, doing it the right way. You know, in order to take this, the problem is with the front of the building, in order to continue with this, I gotta put a footer in. Just, it's too deep. So I could go across that bottom, but it just requires a lot more to do that. And it's a pretty short building, it's a lot of window. So, with what I did going around the front of it, it looks clean. It's it's good material.
To that comment, to your point, I think it might actually be more cost effective to do the last stone that you had, because those are only about an inch deep and they could be adhered to the wall surface and not require a foundation because they come in thin material, real stone, but only about an inch deep. These actually would require, if it's 4 inches like that, like your note mentions, would require a foundation, which would be even more expensive.
Problem is I'm already halfway there, so.
Oh,
It's, I'm all stone, I'm done. So for me to go across that bottom to match it, I have no choice. That's what I have to do. But I'm using, diamond coat material. It's good stuff.
So that front elevation is a little misleading. It doesn't show that you're actually looking in, right? I'm fine with that if you are. I want to see the brick on the other section raised up to where it was shown here.
Where do
It
you,
looks like it comes to about a foot under the windows. Yeah.
That's labeled as a,
trim board.
yeah, trim board, so,
That's not brick.
That's not stone.
no,
You just told me it was brick.
I
this is
didn't.
brick.
Yeah, that
So
is,
that needs to continue along here.
right, that's what we were talking about with putting the footer in to do that.
So it is going to be brick here.
I was hoping not, so.
Well, you got to do something. It's required by code.
What is the code?
What's the terminology? What's the actual verb?
the base?
Base material.
The base.
It's a base material that should be across anything visible from the right of way. It should be consistent on all 4 sides. But there's been some leeway on past projects where wrapping the corners a certain distance, that could reduce the amount, but the base material should be a clear base material differentiation between the upper portion of the wall and the base material.
That doesn't necessarily have stone.
No, it needs to be a material
Right.
change.
Material change.
So that board on the bottom is gonna be a different color, that's what it's showing, right? Max setting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, material change and trying to think of what you can do. I mean, at the end of the day, I can put that, how high do I gotta go up with that?
Like I said, this one shows coming about a foot below the windows. Does it give a specification, this height? No.
I'll make it look right, I just don't wanna get too, you know what I mean? It's so short, I just think if it was a taller building, for sure. But your building, you tell me what you want. What do you want me to do?
You're the builder. We tell you the standards, you come up with a plan. We don't do the design work, but unless you have some recommendations.
I'd leave it for Zosmer to respond to the comment and see what they come up with. Yeah, I don't think we should take a position of trying to design these projects, right? It's
I
not our
concur.
position, so. I'd leave it up to Zosmer to be.
What you presented last time is very nice and met
Okay.
standards. And I know now you've already started construction.
But it's much nicer than a veneer, you gotta keep cost effective wise too, for me to go veneer all the way around that whole thing is like brutal. If I'm a landlord, I wouldn't, doesn't even,
Just do the front and a couple feet on each side, 3 feet on each side.
so just put, right, you pretty much, I got everything, I already got stone in the front there, so you need stone just on the bottom across. Something that gets, yeah. Figure it
Yeah,
out.
so when we say front, this is part of the front. This is part of the front.
Right, I get it, yeah.
So it's no long here and then going back around the corner a few feet.
Are there still stairs to get into the main entrance in front?
It's a ramp.
Oh, still a ramp?
Right here.
So you still have a ramp and you'll have a ramp on both sides. So you'll be able to,
Oh, so you can go on both sides?
both sides.
Oh, I see. Hmm. Hmm. Used to eat there a bit when it was a hometown diner even.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only problem with the stone on that side there, if I bring it around, I'm gonna have to go down the whole building to do it. So
You're
it
gonna have
it wouldn't look right. Where would I stop it? You know,
We're not gonna disapprove it if it goes around the whole building, but you don't have to. I'll leave that to you.
You want in the front.
And turn in the corner a little bit.
Okay.
The entrance to the right of that picture, is that for employees or what is that?
That's gonna be for delivery, so that's.
It goes into the kitchen or office or?
Does, goes in the kitchen, yeah.
Okay.
It's where I'm sure the employees will go out and, you know, smoke or whatever they do.
Have you seen the municipal reviews from July 8th?
I did.
There's a number of things on there. Did you go through each one of them?
I had Zosmer go through them.
Mark, unless I missed one, I think the additional comments on August 4th, I deleted the items that I felt they responded to in
Oops,
the update, but I
I'm
may have
sorry.
missed. So if you caught something. on
I just thought I was looking at the most current one. August already.
August, yeah. August 4th is the
August
revised
4th.
comments. Yeah.
Yeah, we got them today.
Anthony, you want to go through them?
Um,
So the first one, we're
So
all
we
set for
mentioned-
now.
Yep, we mentioned the first one. The second is just adding a note to make sure that any gutters downspouts just match the color of the adjacent surface that they're coming down or through.
That needs to be a note on the plan.
Yep, on the drawings there.
They're, yeah, they're black.
And you don't have to indicate where the gutters and all that, so just put a general note that says that they will match whatever adjacent surface they're against. So we go down to the site comments, new dumpster location on that site plan. Shows like if there's cars parked in the lot, may be difficult to access those if you have a truck coming to service those dumpsters during operation hours or if there's occupied.
The trucks come like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I talked to Zosmer about that this morning and that is actually the most out of the way area to put that dumpster. The only other option I'd have, because we have that turnaround in the back there.
Right.
We don't want it any closer to the building. And I don't want it on the waterfront either.
Okay.
So it's actually a good spot. It's right, it backs up to my neighbor's dumpster.
Okay.
So. And, when I asked Zosmer about that, you know, as far as fire trucks and whatnot, he explained to me that, even without that space there between me and the neighbor, there's enough room there for a fire truck to circle around.
I'm all right with that.
There's an area on the northwest corner of this, it's not in sight, but on this plan on the top left.
Yeah.
The striped pavement area next to space number 8, there's 10-foot landscape buffer requirement. If instead of the striping, you can make that another landscaped area, that'd be.
I have a new, I had him fix that today.
Perfect.
So I got that done.
So that'd need to be reflected on the plans that we
It
approve.
will. Yeah, I got the plan. I'll send it over.
And then the final 2 comments, just landscape requirements. We took a rough calculation on extent of the street frontage and the building, surrounds. So a total of 13 trees a requirement with only 5 shown on the plan, and then 66 required shrubs where only 27 are shown. So it would be up to your.
So my perspective on that, if you do something on the entrance area that you're gonna convert to grass, put some landscaping in there. There's a lot of trees in the back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just put
and-
some landscaping in that new, dirt area.
Yeah.
In the entrance and you're good.
Let me ask you this, and I already started, so I'm already, prepared to do it. the grass buffer, now between me and the funeral home there, that long stretch with the parking spots there.
Up here?
It's, yeah, he's got like, there's concrete barriers. They've been up there forever between the light poles. It's just a full strip there between us. Having that small grass buffer is just gonna be a nightmare with plowing. You know, the cost to put curbing all the way down there, obviously that wouldn't make any sense. But, you know, we can put it there. I just, you know, initially we thought you guys wanted trees there. It didn't seem like that would be necessary, and I'm willing to do it. I just feel that it's just gonna be such a small area, and the plowing, you know, gonna create just a mess.
What will create the mess?
It's gonna be tore up every, you know,
The grass?
yeah, because it's just gonna be you know, it's gonna go from pavement to grass, and it's such a small, thin strip of it.
So you're proposing pave it?
Pave right up to it the way it is now, down there. Hey, I could I don't mind putting the island like you want there with the tree. I'm good with that.
I kind of like the grass, but any thoughts, Mark or Anthony or board?
I guess the previous comment to the number of shrubs and being so low, but I guess my thought was shrubs along that landscaped area, but it's up to the board to decide.
The only problem is what can I put there that's not gonna get filled by salt? You know? And the other biggest concern with this stuff is that if it's my building that I'm operating out of, by all means, I have maintenance people and, you know, I'm a neat freak. But, you know, I already have a few addresses that I'm leasing to these folks, and although they keep things decent, they don't take care of the landscape and the grass like I would. So, you know, it's one thing that I can put all the landscaping in, but these people aren't gonna take care of it. You know, it's gonna look worse than,
Mark, what do you think it is, about 10 feet? 8, 10 feet?
It's like,
5 feet.
5?
I just look at it, there's really no.
Yeah.
ability, I think, if you pull it, I mean, this corner here kind of sets this aisle here, the 22-foot aisle you need, so you really can't widen that by pulling those down appreciably.
And it's not wide enough to plant any trees, so you can't do trees in it. It would be shrubs. But maintenance, to his other points.
Point that I even right up the property line, it's probably like that now.
Yeah. Well, it's a concrete wall, you know, someone to put the grass right in front of those concrete barriers in his parking lot.
Yeah, right along here, you talked about.
Yeah.
So he won't hit it with a plow.
What's that?
He's got the concrete barrier, so he won't hit it with his plow.
Yeah, just to divide us really.
You tend to like the grass in between as well? I do.
I do too. I mean,
I hate paving right up. I understand then the
Can
narrow, but
we have the neighbor take his wall down
I'm sure he'll let you do that.
Next time he comes in.
where would all the snow go when you do plow?
gonna go to the back.
Go in the river.
You got, I won't push it in the river, but there's a lot of room back there. I'm just going to, grade it up nice and clean.
You'll probably be pushing all this out back anyway, so the grass area, that's the only way to go with it.
It's the only place to go, yeah.
What's in there once?
So grass is the answer.
So.
You all
on
set?
the side with the block, or the front, which I'll figure out. Gotta figure out how to terminate it, maybe bring it up. So I'll get something figured out. We got that. We're good on the landscape. I take care of that front
Gotta get it on the plan.
corner. Yeah, there'll be several. Take care of that front corner there, grass on the side. Good on the dumpster enclosure.
Next time we'll wrap it up.
Gonna bring it back again? Right.
Yeah, we need the plan to reflect that,
Yeah, I got it.
reflect the things we've talked about.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
The next item on the agenda for the proposed facade modifications for property 8061 Brewerton Road. The applicant's not here. They were told they didn't have to come, but we just got information late this afternoon, so
Yeah.
we're not going to address it tonight. We'll just move it to the next meeting. So then the last item on the agenda, this is for the property at 7917, 7919 Brewerton Road, a proposed 7 Brew coffee stand. Hello there.
Like, explain it, this time, show us the time.
I was looking for that.
Hi, good evening. My name is Larry Adler. I'm with Brew Team New York. We are a 7 Brew franchisee for upstate New York, and we go from Rochester to Albany and down to the Hudson Valley. We have about 15 open today, and we'll have 23 by the end of the year. The closest one that we have here is in North Syracuse, which I hope you guys are familiar with and our customers.
Sweetheart Corner.
Yeah, exactly. So the property that we're talking about is 7919 Brewerton Road. The tax map number is 037-01-16.2. It's owned by the Bobbitt Family LLC, or 7919 Brewerton Road LLC. Our parcel is approximately 1.4 acres, and we're gonna just have a disturbance of just over a half acre. If we can look to the overall plan, site plan. The site plan, the C 2.1, I think. So while he's pulling that up, a little bit about 7 Brew. We're a drive-through only, beverage only coffee stand. We have at least double lane drive-throughs that go around all of our coffee stands. Here, because of the advantageous layout here, we have 2 lanes that go around the entire site and a 3rd lane, an escape lane or a bypass lane that'll help things out here. We sell beverages only, like I said. It's espresso-based drinks, energy drinks, and smoothies. We don't really sell food. The only food we do have is a prepackaged muffin top. So in light of that and how we greet our customers, the average time from when you order to when you receive your beverage is about 3 to 3.5 minutes. So what we do is we greet our customers with an iPad, and they take the order, and the beverages are delivered through to the customer. It's not, there's no drive-through window per se, and there's no microphone to do that. The building is about 510 square feet. That's the larger of the 2 that you see there. It's a pre-manufactured building that's made with Nichiha. It's a cement fiber product that reads like brick, and we have some elevations that we can show you. The other structure right adjacent to that is approximately a 340 square foot cooler and storage area, and that's clad in the same Nichiha material, so it matches the building.
And in the far left is the dumpster area, and that is also clad in the same nichi-ha and has steel gates in the front, so it's not like a chain link fence. It actually reads like a nice structure there. As I said, it's a drive-through only, so in the building, it's 510 square feet. It's employees only. There's no public allowed into it. It's just where our baristas are. And all we have in there is a few machines that produce the beverages and a bathroom for the employees. It's like 99.9% of our customers come through the drive-through. We will accommodate, if somebody walks up to the door, we will accommodate them. But that's, a very, very small part of what we do. This plan here, just in the 2 lanes, has queuing of about 35 cars, which would be our largest amount of queuing that we have in all of New York State right now. And the site plan provides for 12 parking spaces. And so our hours are 5:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, Sunday to Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, we stay open till 11. The typical shift has 4 to 6 employees in it. So the 12 parking spaces allows for shift changes so that when people don't have to jockey to get parking spaces out there. And I apologize, Steve pointed out that we didn't have an overall plan showing the connection. The connection to Brewerton Road will be at the traffic signal by Goodwill. And so there's no driveway on our property that'll go out to Brewerton. All the incoming traffic will be coming from the traffic light on Brewerton Road. And there's a proposed right exit only a little south of where we're located. I should point out that this property is owned, there's 2 individual lots that are owned by the owner. We're taking the northern portion of the northern lot, I should say, which is again about 1.4 acres. The owner and his engineers have been in long conversations with DOT, and DOT approved the intersection layout geometry that you see there and gave the owner the direction to proceed with site plans so that they could have more direct comments on the site plan. We included in our package, we did a separate traffic study because we like to make sure that the traffic is going to work. We've included that. And then, I guess today we received the Onondaga County 239 referral, which had a couple of recommendations in it. One being coordinate with DOT, the second with the Onondaga County Department of Water and Environmental Protection. And then other recommendations to formalize the easements with the property owners for access to Brewerton Road, that landscaping be placed between the access road and Brewerton Road. And they encouraged connection from our building to the existing sidewalk that's out on Brewerton Road, which all are, will be addressed in our next set of plans. But here to answer any questions that you guys may have. Or...
Jim?
So it's going to be located where the mattress store is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's going away.
Yeah, so that's about an 8,000 square foot store. That'll all, be demolished, and it's pretty close to Brewerton Road. So that goes away, and we take that portion of the property.
Okay, and will it be a similar setup to what you have at Sweetheart Corners?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of there's 2 lanes that go around the building, and that's how we circulate. So yeah, and again, here, the top of the page is where the intersection, the top of the page would be Goodwill, and where the connection to the traffic light is. And then you'd come in, make the first right, and then you'd have the queuing that will wrap around the building. And then exiting for those people that want to go south on 11, we'll just go to the right, and there's a right out only that's reflected on the plan. And if you wanted to go north, you would make a left in the access road, go to the traffic light and go out onto Brewerton.
How many employees?
In a shift is usually 4 to 6 on a typical shift. During pre-opening activities, there's a little bit more, obviously. So
And where will they park?
in the 12 spaces, and there's the, in these, we probably don't have much more than 12, if that, so.
Okay.
But they're not permanent employees of the stand. We just help with traffic control. They're there to help with traffic control and for the operations.
That's all I got for now.
Okay.
Thank you. Chuck?
Well, if you say it, you can queue 35, you're liable to need it. So the Sweetheart Corner business,
Yeah.
I've almost never seen anybody less than 15, 20 cars minimum.
Right.
And I keep saying, well, what's the attraction?
Love to go try it.
Doing something right.
It's good. And we like to say we cultivate kindness. It's a little bit more than just getting, pulling up to a window and asking for a coffee. They engage more.
There must be a lot of repeat business. And there's no connection to Goodwill at all, their parking lot.
No, just through the access road.
I'm sure you do very well.
Mary?
Hope so.
That's a plan.
So they just drive up to a window. There's no microphone. They don't have to go to multiple windows.
No,
They're ordering, they wait, they drive away. 3
Yeah.
minutes. And what did you say your hours were again?
5:30 in the morning till 10, Sunday to Thursday PM.
Okay, and then Sunday,
And Friday and Saturday till 11.
you had a lot of people having coffee at 11.
It tapers off. I mean, the peak hours are in the morning from 7 to 9 and the afternoon from 4 to 6. So it's the end hours, shoulder hours, as they call it, but you want to be there for the people that want to have
Used to
a
call it traffic hours.
late night jolt.
I did not know you had one in North Syracuse. I'll have to go check it out. Thank you.
The south lane for the drive up, how do they receive their order?
So again, our greeters come out with an iPad and couple of slides down, there's actually a striping plan. So our lanes are, the lanes here proposed are 12.5 feet wide, separated by a 2-foot striped lane, and that's where the employees will walk back. It might be a couple more down if you can.
It's very slow. I'm trying to get there. It's not like.
Some people say it's like Chick-fil-A meets Starbucks, because we take the order in there.
So the employer, they wait at that little table where they put the order in? There's like, I saw some pictures, there was like a little table. set
There's
up
sometimes,
at the end of the line.
if they're running out to the cars, there'll be like a little table and they'll put the beverages out there, yeah.
How about the condiments? Do they mix them for the customer or?
Yeah, there's no condiment bar. You order it exactly like you like it. And if you're a repeat customer, you get a code on the car and they scan it and it's
freezing up.
it says, do you want the, what
Freezing up.
you normally get?
That's it.
It's done pretty well. And the other thing I didn't point out is, so you can see that blue striping between the first and the second lane. That's to allow the greeters to walk and greet the cars. There's the white where the stop bars are, that's a canopy. So that typically when the people receive their drinks, it's under a covered, it's a canopy so that it makes it a little easier.
So then there's an employee inside that just puts it in the window right there for the other employee to pick up and bring to the car?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
So there's an employee inside the building that brings the order to
Yeah, there, well, the
Window.
baristas are making the drinks and then there's runners that go
Yeah.
to.
a barista, that's a coffee maker, right? That's
Grease.
So someone's got the iPad taking the order, they keep moving down the cars,
Yeah.
and then you have a runner.
Right.
Mark, can you go to 821? Please. 821. 82.1.
No, that's the site plan.
Oh.
Sure.
While he's doing that, I saw a note about an adjacent car wash.
To my knowledge, and I don't. I've not met the owners. I was hoping to see him here tonight, but no. Yeah, I didn't, I was just gonna say, I don't think there's another
I think,
tenant yet.
I think I read it somewhere.
yeah, prior to that, maybe first started talking about site plan, there was a car wash interested in it, but.
No.
Yeah. Presently.
A is in Apple, 2.1.
Sorry.
That's how- There is no car wash.
So I think this says south, I'm sorry, north and south. I think those are actually east and west.
So
The
this,
next page says,
yeah, this would be the top is facing east because the top picture is the front of the stand, so to speak. And so that's what, if you're standing on Brewerton Road, that's what you'll see.
so you just gotta tweak it. It says north. And it says south.
Okay.
I don't know, I catch these things.
No, that's,
That's all I have. Anthony, anything at this point?
If, just a couple things on the civil plan, just based on aerials and New York State maps, I don't know if you've done a wetland delineation, but it looks like the dumpsters and some of the driveway may be getting really close to that. I don't know if.
yeah.
We did the delineation.
Can you come on up, please? Please give your name.
Matt Pollitt. We did a delineation, had the DEC and everybody come in and, you know, confirm the wetland lines, about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So that was completed. Yep.
And I guess the current layout is one that's acceptable to any offsets or, boundaries that are required based on that delineation.
I think that we need to just confirm we're clearly outside of the boundary of a wetland. There may be 100-foot
100-foot
buffer.
buffer.
Right, which
Yep, and
we
that
need
is
to,
compensated for.
Okay.
I know in working with Plumley Engineering and stuff that did the DOT plan.
Okay. So very good.
Site, that was all compensated for, yeah.
Okay. I guess the only other question, I guess, and if the current entrance to the Goodwill has an exit only from the parking lot that comes out to that signal as well. So you're basically having 3 vehicular directions intersecting, maybe 20 or 30 feet away from the actual main intersection on Route 11. So I think that whole intersection of vehicles really needs to be studied to understand.
yeah. Yeah, and I apologize. Part of, this was to get the sketch plan. We'll provide the DOT plans that Plumley Engineering put together, but I know that, there is some widening from what, Dave Aiello mentioned to me. What DOT is requiring a little bit of widening on our side of the intersection. Yeah, I think you're talking about this lane coming out here.
This right now is an exit only.
Right, so it looks like they're making it wider, but I'll get the answer to that question from DOT and Plumley.
Yeah.
And you can go from Home Depot straight across the street and Goodwill.
Right. I'm just saying that if you have a car queuing in and out of this direction, a car queuing in and out of this direction, and a car here waiting to turn,
Right.
but there's a queue of lines waiting for that light, one car waiting here now backs traffic back into Route 11 because they're trying to get into your, right? All of that queuing space, it seems very tight when you have 4 to 6 different directions of vehicles that could be intersecting within 30 feet away from Route 11 intersection. So if one car stopped here waiting to turn into you could cause backup into Route 11.
Right.
So just that study is something that we need to look at.
Yeah, I'm confident I saw the emails where DOT said they approved the intersection, so I'm assuming, you know, they covered that, but we'll address it with you.
Thank you. Steve?
I'm all set, thanks.
You have anything at this point?
If there's comments about the easements, just give them to me, so.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to look at that study. I mean, this is coming out of Home Depot. Crossing Home
Across the
Depot.
street.
We know what happens with traffic over there.
Hmm.
And that's a single exit lane going out there. So now anybody's coming out of the Home Depot going straight, they're holding up. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. And that whole mishmash of the coming out right out of it, I don't know. I might take a better look and see.
Yeah. And again, I apologize for not having it, but I believe they widened the intersection up there.
I mean, it looks like we're providing access to this parcel down here also.
Well, that's the access road. So there's an existing driveway that feeds both lots
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be eliminated. I think that was the driving force with DOT, and that's why they were, you know, they embraced this plan with
Yeah,
Plumlee.
that's all good.
Yeah,
I
so it's
just-
coming through a controlled intersection now.
That's all good stuff.
Right.
Just that, I mean, we know how the traffic backed up in the Home Depot. And this is going to impact people coming out of Home Depot, further exacerbating the traffic back in there.
Yep.
I know DOT is gonna approve it, but I also know.
Well,
what
I
just
did
happened
see,
in the-
and I just saw some of the correspondence, but I know that they were talking about signal timing adjustments to accommodate the traffic.
So Mark, you're concerned about cars leaving Home Depot,
I'm just saying-
going into the,
I'm saying that this is putting more burden upon that intersection. A significant amount based on the amount of traffic you're talking about coming in and out of here.
for people that leave Home
People
Depot,
leaving Starbucks,
for people that leave Home Depot, going to get coffee?
you know? No,
No,
we
after
know
that
that the
light.
traffic backs up at Home Depot right now,
Oh,
right? We know that.
well, they have a north turn lane, so that's where I was going.
Well, but I'm saying, so now this intersection is going to get more traffic. If it gets more traffic, then just by logic, the amount of traffic that can come out of Home Depot free flowing is going to be impacted. So you're now exacerbating the issues that you have on the Home Depot site. But again, it's a state intersection. They're gonna look at it and approve it. But they looked at it and approved the other ones, right? And we know what we got. So, I'm just looking at this the first time, but I mean, the other question I have real quick is can these, so we're paving right up to the property line down here. We got no buffer. Can these spaces be moved back here? And shift this whole thing up to get a little bit of buffer on each side here?
Yeah,
Can we
again,
look at that or?
yeah, we can look at that. Is it a 5-foot green space that you like to have?
I'll rely on my landscaping consultant to tell us what should be there, but they kind of be, right?
There's a 10-foot buffer between parking spaces and right of way. Would this driveway be considered part of the parking lot? Likely.
All I'm saying is we're paving right up the park.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll
right
form-
up to the property line, which again, we just expressed the previous applicant that we, you know.
Okay.
Not good. Right.
So we're
Yeah,
just
we
talking about,
landscape
it's
buffer,
we need to find at least 5 feet, maybe more on the southern property.
5 feet sidewalk onto the property, is that what you're talking?
This property line right here, you get this property line here, you're basically paving right up to it. I don't know what is this?
That's stone for snow removal so that it drains properly.
Yeah, I just, like I said,
That's the sidewalk right there that exists right now.
sidewalk runs along this property?
Yeah, walks right through the whole front of the property.
No, that's,
You're looking the wrong way.
yeah, that's, I
Oh,
don't
I'm
think,
sorry.
that's the,
This is the
that's
side
the property
property.
line between the
That's
north.
side
Oh, for
property.
the plaza?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, there's not, yeah, so, just real quick, again, that's just a couple.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. You've got a 14-foot lane here that could be.
Yeah, I think we can,
No, it's 10 foot strip. Plaza. Oh, vegetation.
Oh.
We have property in plaza next door is a 15 foot strip. And we don't own it.
Thank you. So we're set unless you have anything additional?
no. So
Great.
I guess, just next step, we'll get some feedback from Steve or you. Great.
Yeah, you come both Mark and,
Yes.
and I'll work on
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, appreciate it.
Yeah.
So that concludes our agenda items. Any discussion from the team? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. You have a second? Second. Meeting is adjourned.